Okay, now let's study the formation of two types of wood, that is heartwood and sapwood. So formation of heartwood and sapwood. Right. So I'll be explaining this formation of heartwood and sapwood by making diagram. So this is, let's say this is the transverse section of dicot stem after secondary growth. So this is the transverse section of dicot stem, right? Okay, now this is vascular cambium. Let's say this is vascular cambium. Okay, so the tissue completely which is present inside the vascular cambium after secondary growth will be secondary xylem, right, which constitutes wood. So at the centermost part of this wood, that is secondary xylem, the centermost part of the secondary xylem is called as heartwood, which is present at the center. So this is called heartwood, right? Heartwood, which is present at the center, and this region which is surrounding this heartwood is called as sapwood. So this is sapwood. Sapwood, and this is vascular cambium. I am writing it as VC, right? Okay. So now let's see the formation of both heartwood and sapwood, how they are formed. So heartwood. So heartwood is the wood which is present at the center, that is called heartwood, and the wood which is present towards periphery or outer side is called as sapwood. So it is present towards outer side or towards peripheral side, that is called sapwood. Periphery, right? Okay. Now this heartwood is very hard, it becomes very hard in weight, and whereas sapwood is light in weight. And before discussing about why about this hard and lighter wood, that is heartwood and sapwood, why hardwood is light and why sapwood is light, I'll be explaining about two more points. So here heartwood is non-functional, and hence it is not involved in the conduction of water. So it is not involved in the conduction of water. So conduction of water, transport of water through this heartwood is absent, right? Whereas sapwood is functional. So it is involved in the conduction of water. So water conduction is carried out by sapwood, which is present towards periphery, right? Okay. Now let's see why this heartwood has become non-functional. So first reason is due to the accumulation of some chemical substances like gums, resins, tannins, aromatic substances and essential oils. This at the center of the secondary xylem, that is at the center of the wood, this heartwood has become non-functional. So it has become non-functional because of what? Because of the accumulation. First reason for the heartwood to become non-functional is because of the accumulation of gums, resins, tannins and aromatic substances and essential oils. So these are the reasons for the heartwood to become non-functional. And second reason is due to the blockage of vessels present in this hardwood by blockage of vessels. Vessels are present in anyway secondary xylem and even in primary xylem also. But here we are talking about heartwood. Why it has become non-functional? Why it has become non-functional and why it is not involved in the transport of water? Because the vessels present in this heartwood, that is secondary xylem, are blocked by the presence of or by the formation of tracheal plugs. Tracheal plugs, which are also called as tyloses. So these are the two reasons for non-functioning of this heartwood, right? Next, and this heartwood is darker in color. It is dark in color, and the sapwood is light in color. Due to the accumulation of all these chemical substances, heartwood is resistant to the attack of microbes and insects. Hence, this heartwood is resistant to the attack of microbes and insects, right? Microbes and insects. Whereas sapwood is not resistant to the attack of microbes and insects. So it is prone to the attack of insects and microbes. Okay. For example, one example of heartwood which is resistant to the attack of microbes and insects is teakwood. The heartwood of teakwood is termite resistant. It is resistant to termites. Termite resistant. Hence, it is used in making furniture and all. Right? Okay. The other name of this heartwood is duramen. It is durable. Duramen. The other name of sapwood is alburnum. Other name of sapwood is alburnum. And this heartwood weighs hard. It is very hard. Whereas sapwood weighs light in weight. So, sapwood is also called as alburnum. Right? Okay. Here I would like to discuss few more points about change in the size of heartwood and sapwood. Right? About the change in size of heartwood and sapwood. Okay, so this is vascular cambium. This vascular cambium goes on producing secondary xylem towards inner side. That means it is going on producing sapwood as the tree or the plant gets aging. So as it becomes aging, some amount of sapwood which is formed by vascular cambium will be continuously being converted into heartwood. So I just repeat. So this is the vascular cambium. Continuously it will be involved in the formation of sapwood towards inner side, and continuously some of the sapwood will be converted into heartwood as the plant or the tree gets aging, right? It gets older and older, and hence the amount of heartwood will be increased. So the amount of heartwood will be increased, right? Going on increasing. Whereas coming to the size of sapwood. So what we discussed now, sapwood will be continuously produced by vascular cambium, and continuously some of this sapwood will be converted into heartwood. But heartwood will not be converted back into sapwood. So sapwood will be converted into heartwood, but heartwood will not be converted back into sapwood. So the amount of sapwood or the size of sapwood remains same, right? So the size of sapwood remains same. There will be no change in the size of it. Remains almost same in its size. Okay. So this is about sapwood and heartwood. Here I would like to discuss some more points. Okay. So when the vascular cambium goes on producing secondary xylem towards inner side, what happens? Pressure is built up towards the tissues which are present towards peripheral side, and hence the tissues which are present at periphery gets crushed off. They undergo breakdown. So those tissues like cortex, epidermis, these tissues undergo breakdown. So due to the breakage of cortex and epidermis, there will be loss of water from the peripheral part of the plant, and the peripheral part of the plant will be prone to the attack of microbes and even insects. So To protect this peripheral part of the plant from the loss of water and even from the attack of microbes and insects, this peripheral part of the plant must be again replaced. The peripheral layers which undergo breakdown must be replaced by a protective layer, and so for replacement of these peripheral layers by a protective layer, another cambium is formed outside the steel, that is outside the steel. Outside the steel means in extrastellar region. So that cambium which is formed in the extrastellar region is cork cambium, which is involved in the replacement of peripheral tissues which are lost during the secondary growth of stellar region, right? So that is extrastellar secondary growth. In the next video, I will be explaining about extrastellar growth which is carried out by cork cambium, right? Hope you understood all this concept of Heartwood, sapwood, and what about the size of sapwood and heartwood? The size of heartwood will be increasing, going on increasing as the tree or plant gets aged, whereas the amount of sapwood remains almost the same, right? Thank you, students.